So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the 0.5 release of LLxprt Code that just dropped. In this release, we added subagents. So you can list the subagents. I'm going to have a subagent go ahead and look through the code base, tell me what it does. I've sped this up because it's super boring to watch a subagent go through a code base. You can see that the context of the subagent isn't added to the parent until it returns. You'll see lots of stuff happening, lots of tools. One thing that always bugged me about Claude Code, about other tools, is when a subagent kicks off, you can't really tell what it's doing. One, with LLxprt Code, you can leave approval mode on. I turned YOLO on after the first approval because that would be super boring to approve whatever it might be doing. So it's going through the code base. You can see where it's reading files or all the different tool calls that it's doing to give a comprehensive deep dive into everything that we've added in the 0.5 release, which I'm only going to really cover a very small part, but there was a lot. We didn't put out a release for a couple months because the refactoring that we did was quite extensive. We're taking a much different direction than Gemini CLI for the subagent part. So it's going to go through and then finally it'll return. You see that the context isn't really growing until the very, very end. And you'll see that all of the summary gets added, but not everything it did. So now you see it created this really long summary of all the different things we did in this release, and so on. To create a subagent, you use the / command. You can either have it do an auto or you can manually prompt it. The auto, you give it a small prompt and then it goes from there. You can see it created a very long prompt about reviewing and being concise. And that I'm using a profile called Quinn. If you're not familiar with LLxprt Code profiles, these are sets of model configurations. I'll load up the Quinn profile real quick so that you get an idea of what this model profile is. So you can see that my context limit is changing, that I'm using a different provider, and the model here is the Quinn 3 Coder Plus model. This is provided for free via OAuth. We also added provider aliases in this release, so it'll be easier. You don't have to remember the base URLs. You can also save and customize your own. So I'm going to use the Quinn reviewer. You see here that if I don't have a browser able to launch, there is a link I can click, or I can paste the link. This made it much easier to use remote sessions of LLxprt Code. So the different terminal programs allow you to use links. You can use the link, otherwise you can cut and paste. So it's going to go through, use the Quinn reviewer, and then it's going to provide us a nice long, or hopefully not too long, summary of what LLxprt Code does. So this was its idea of concise. So if you need multi-model, multi-provider, even local, subagentic CLI, consider LLxprt Code, install it with npm, and let us know what you think. Thanks.